Words so sharp, they cut right through. Real talk for the soul's appeal. Prayers rise up the wounds they heal. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. Each step brings another fight. Breaking chains, we're seeking light. Voice of power won't be tamed. With his love, we're never shamed. Lift our voice.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today we have a great show for you all. I hope all is well, man. God bless each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you all pulling up this morning and bearing with me. There's some technical difficulties going on this morning, man, so I'm running a little bit behind. I want to make sure that the audio and everything's working. Put a one in the chat for me if you can hear me okay. I hope everything is well, but I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So if you could put a quick one in the chat for me, just to let me know that you guys can hear me. Shout out to those that have pulled up early this morning. Shout out to True Texan in the building. First here, Soul Driver. Shout out to you. Scott Jung in the building. PK Krillin, what's going on with you? Toy Mafia in the house. Marianne in the house. What's going on? Redefine Queen, good morning to you. Brian, good morning to you. Big Job Ford, man, good morning to you. Hobo Rod Prospecting, good morning to you. Lori Otson, good morning. What's up, Ed Mar? How you doing today, brother? Appreciate you pulling up as always. If you have not hit that like button, do what Ed Mar said, man, and hit that daggone like button for me. I definitely appreciate it. What's up, Larry Montgomery, Northern Cali in the house? Appreciate you. What's up, Baby Lungs, Burnsville, Minnesota in the building? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Joseph? How you doing this morning, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you all. What's up, James? How you doing? Delinda, how you doing this morning? What's up, Christy? Chi-Town in the building. What's up? What's happening? All right, man. We got a good show. What's up, Linda? Hey, ATL in the building. We got an AT alien in the house. Selma, Alabama in the building this morning. What's up with you, Marla? How you doing? What's up, Donald? Jersey in the house. What's up? Caldwell, appreciate you. What's up, RJ? How you doing today, brother? I hope all is well with you. All right, you guys can hear me. Outstanding. What up, Kenny Cooper? Oh, he's sailing through Arkansas, man. Be safe out there, brother. Godspeed to you. What's up, Antonice? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. CCG, appreciate you pulling up. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, you guys can hear me. What's up, Sean Cross? How you doing this morning, brother? Global Logistics in the building. DNA is required to run for elections. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I don't want to miss nobody. All right, man, we got a good show, and I don't know, I think we talked about this last week, and we talked about this, I might have talked about it yesterday. What's up, MAGA Tamara? How you doing this morning? What's up, Ja Rules, man? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. It's been a minute. I don't think I've seen you in a little bit. I'm assuming that you're probably working or doing something. You're busy early in the mornings, man. I know I should see you in the evenings, but we've been doing this thing in the morning, but appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. What's up, Roseanne, Nelly, Billboard Bills? What's up, Mama Joe's? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, sister. What's up, Nisi? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up as well. Ski, appreciate you pulling up. Hairball, what's going on? Terry M, what's going on? What's up, Kim Ford? How you doing this morning? Ron LeBlanc in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Regina? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. And that was a good video that you did. I got a chance to check you out, the Big George Foreman, man. So, yeah, shout out to you, man, for, representing, and rest in peace to, Big George out there, man. Rest in peace, man. One of the greatest champions to ever live. All right, West Virginia Wire, Regina says she has her first county commission board meeting today. So excited to listen. All right. You doing any interviewing or anything like that out there? You gonna talk to some of the people out there? All right, we're having some technical difficulties for real. Y'all gotta bear with me. I gotta work on a couple things real fast. Yeah, it just kicked me out of nowhere. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what the heck happened. StreamYard is acting up this morning for some reason. Always something. This is, I don't even gonna say always something because this is the first time that I've actually had this going on. All right, Jai said worked 13 hours last night. Man, God bless you. Goodness gracious. Oh yeah. You know, we're gonna have to do it this way. Y'all bear with me for a little bit. Let me queue up a couple things. I had everything already set up in the whole nine, and unfortunately, technical difficulty. So we're gonna have to go about this in a different way. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we do have we got a good amount to talk about, and then you know, in the meantime, I also have I want to share a clip with you guys of the interview that I did yesterday with Sholden Daniels. All right, can you guys hear me okay? Let me double check something. Okay, check. Yep. Okay, so that's still working. Okay, I wanted to make sure that everything is working, man. Goodness gracious. All right, there's a first for everything, man. Technical difficulties. We're building the ship as we fly it, so it's all good. Don't even stress. Don't even stress. I don't concern myself or stress myself out about things that I can't necessarily control. You know, I don't necessarily do that. What's up, Dr. Silla? She says, I love your morning show, gets my day started. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That makes me feel good. It makes me you know, feel like what I'm doing, you know, it's working and it's meaningful. So I definitely appreciate that. So we're going to do things just slightly different today. Slightly different. We still got all our clips and everything, but I got to do it through share screen opposed to, you know, just downloading everything. All right, we almost there. All right. Okay, so I think we are about ready to go. Give me 1 second. We're almost there. All right, so we're slowly but surely getting there. Give me 1 second, folks. Wow, okay. Hey, I am not gonna let the devil get me down today, okay? I'm not gonna let him get me down today. Not today. Thank you, Joseph Orsini, for the $9.99 super chat. He says, take your time and get it right, Wise. We are not whiny Democrats. We'll wait. Appreciate that, brother. God bless you. Thank you for the support. Definitely appreciate that. All righty. So I appreciate you all, you know, bearing with me and you know, suffering through the technical difficulties with me this morning, man. And I definitely appreciate you all. You know, God bless each and every one of you guys, man. I really appreciate you all. And I'm trying to do a little more to promote and just let people know, like, hey, we are here in the mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The chat is live. It's good people. It's a good conversation. And you guys bless me on a day-to-day basis. I don't even know if you guys know it, but you all bless me. So just to see you guys pull up and, you know, the interaction that happens in the chat is amazing. It's amazing. What's going on, Zephyr? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And before we get started, as I always say, man, please make sure you guys hit that like button. That is the #1 way to support the channel. That's the only price to admission today. But if you'd like to go the extra mile, obviously, super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family, that will stop the show and be acknowledged. Anybody that gifts an ARP family membership, that will stop the show and be acknowledged. Shout out to Renee Suzanne. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, sister. Appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, we representing today. Baltimore in the building. We got a rep for the Ravens. We got a rep for the Ravens today. Shout out to Billy W., new ARP family member. Appreciate you. Appreciate the love. Thank you very much. And shout out to Dora Cook for the $9.99 super sticker. Shout out to you. And the one thing I do want to say is in my interview yesterday with Sholden Daniels, he is a grassroots candidate, okay? And he is really getting it out of the mud at this point. And I want to say this, anybody that donates to the channel today, whatever you donate, I am going to match that donation and we are going to sow that seed into Sholden Daniels campaign. So whatever you guys donate today via super chat, super thanks, that will be matched by me, and we will donate that to Sholden Daniels campaign. He has a goal to raise $250,000. I believe he's at $155,000 right now raised. You'll see a link in the description box, in that description box below, of how you can get a hold of him via X, as well as his campaign site, and how you can donate to his campaign and what he's trying to do. Obviously, he is, he's fighting an uphill battle. Jasmine Crockett, she has somewhere along the lines of about $1.5 million, in her coffers for her campaign for this upcoming election in 26. So he's fighting an uphill battle, but I think, with people like you all and so many others across the nation that want to see Jasmine Crockett ousted, they want to see her ousted. I think that people, not just in his district in Texas 30, but I think people across the country are going to do what needs to be done to help him, get the finances that he needs to really be able to attack. He is officially on the ballot. He has an official Win Red site. It's all up and running. If you go and check the description box, it is in there right now. You can follow him on X. He's on there right now. So all of that is in the description box. So check it out. And like I said, anybody that donates to the channel today, whatever you donate, I will match that 100%. And we're going to donate that and sow a seed into Sholden Daniels campaign. So we got a good lineup, man. And if you guys, seriously, if you guys are tired of the circus in Washington, the grandstanding, and the divisive nonsense coming out of some of these, so-called representatives, and you are in the right place. You are definitely in the right place, because today we're going to have Sholden Daniels on the show. I'm going to share that with you guys today. You guys got to see it. He's an Army veteran. He's an Army veteran, an attorney. He's a husband, a father. He's a no-nonsense conservative who's stepping up to the plate. I mean, he is running right now to oust Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett in Texas, 30th Congressional District. It's a seat that she's basically turned into a stage for her viral rants and, just Trump bashing antics. And before I get that clip and before I play that clip, I first, I want to talk a little bit about some breaking news that came out the other day. But before we do so, I want to make sure I show some love to those that just donated. You guys are freaking phenomenal. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Dora with the $9.99. Shout out to Christy with the $19.99 super sticker. Shout out to Dr. Silla with the $1.99 super sticker. She says, my husband said you 30 cosplaying a 50-year-old. You know what's crazy about that? Just this morning, there was a lady in the gym, and she was trying to figure out how old I am. And, she was like, you don't look that old, but the gray is kind of throwing me off. and I had to tell her, I'm 45 years old. My son, my oldest son is 23, currently serving in the United States Navy right now. My youngest son is in college. He's a freshman in college right now. So I have two basically adult children, although my youngest son, he still lives at the house. He goes to the local JUCO, but I have two adult children. I know I don't look it, but I have two adult children. That is hilarious. 30 cosplaying 50. Wow, I haven't heard that one. That is hilarious. But thank you for the $1.99 super chat. That actually made my day. Goodness gracious. Shout out to Renee Suzanne, $100 super chat. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, we're gonna put some money into. We're gonna definitely put some money in the coffers of Sholden Daniels, man. Shout out to you. God bless you, Renee Suzanne. Thank you very much. Shout out to Lisa. Well, Renee Suzanne said out like a rocket. Absolutely. Shout out to Lisa for the $10 super chat. She says, I love your channel and definitely want to support Sholdon. Ratchet Crockett doesn't represent logical Black women. And you're absolutely right. Shout out to you, sister. Appreciate you supporting the channel and supporting Sholden Daniels today. Shout out to you. Shout out to Linda Smith with the $10 super chat. She says, God bless you for matching. May God bless all that help out. Yes, absolutely. And thank you very much. And is it Alley Cat? I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Shout out there for the $5 super chat. We want Crockett out. Great show, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all supporting the channel. At the end of the show, I'll let it be known, like, hey, this is how much was raised. This is how much will be given. I'll make that happen today. I will make that happen today. All right. So let's get the show started, man. Give me a second. Let me pull this up here. Man, that is awesome. You guys are phenomenal. Seriously, you guys are phenomenal. But yeah, I think that's great, man. I mean, when we see good people out there, that are, running for office, especially when they're grassroots folks, someone, like Sholden Daniels, and there will be a few others. If one of the mods can reach out to or connect with Terry M to let her know or how they can support via super chat, give them some instructions, that would be great. I'd appreciate that. But when you see grassroots people, trying to get into the fight, we know what's going on. We know that Jasmine Crockett is Soros. She is Soros back. Last time I checked, she got $1.5 million in her coffers for her campaign. And, so he's definitely fighting an uphill battle, but the people who want to see change can make change. It doesn't take one person gifting, a bunch of money. It takes a lot of people gifting a small amount, which will turn into a large amount. So shout out to you all, man. And I'll let you guys know at the end of the show how much we actually raised and how much will be donated to Sholdon's coffers today. All right. God bless you all, man. God bless you all. That is phenomenal.
Well, a clear case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
Well, we're tackling the fraud, waste, and abuse in the agency. We've seen, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud go unprosecuted, so we're taking that on. We have a zero tolerance policy for fraud, and we continue to crack down on it and make sure people are held accountable.
It's amazing. And you have a lot of that. You found far too much of it. It's a pure fraud. We like to use the words waste and abuse because they sort of sound good, but many of these things are pure fraud. Now, there was a contract that you've heard about where Stacey Abrams got $2 billion just before we took over, and it was a
Shout out to Marla for the $9.99 super chat. She says, get Crockett out. Yes. Thank you very much for supporting today. Thank you very much for supporting today and sewing into Sholdon's coffers there, man. Thank you. So Doge uncovered $330 million. $330 million in Small Business Administration loans that were given to kids under 11 years old. $330 million given to kids under 11 years old. This is ridiculous. I mean, come on. The youngest recipient was a 9-month-old baby who somehow scored a $100,000 loan. How in the world is this happening? Seriously, how is this happening? How does a 9-month-old baby secure a $100,000 loan? How? That is the $1 million question right there. Or I guess in this case, the $330 million question. Who cashed these checks, man? Who's pocketing this money? Because I'll tell you right now, it's not the babies. We know it's not the babies. I mean, this is straight up fraud, plain and simple. And it's happening right under our noses. The SBA, an agency that's supposed to help small businesses, has been so mismanaged that they're handing out our hard-earned tax dollars to people who can't even spell loan, let alone apply for one. Let alone apply for one. And this isn't new. This isn't new. This is according to reports. This mess goes back to 2020 and 2021 during the COVID lending programs when oversight was basically non-existent. I missed somebody. Shout out to Mama Joe's for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, sister. I want to support anyone who is a better choice than Crockett. Shout out to you, sister. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Oh, yeah, we're going to keep announcing it. Mods, if you can in the chat, as people pull up, if you could let it be known that anybody that does support the channel today, that money will be gifted to Sholden Daniels and it will be matched by me over here at ARP. Shout out to Terry M for the $20 super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much. And shout out to Bonnie Batten Johnson for the $4.99 super sticker. Shout out to you, sister. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all for supporting the channel. And honestly, thank you all for supporting Sholden Daniels, man. We have to do what needs to be done to support our own and to support those that have grassroots campaigns that want to stand up and fight for the people. That has to happen. But back to these loans, man. I mean, we're talking about thousands of loans. Thousands of loans with social security numbers that don't even match the names on the applications. That's not a glitch, man. That is a crime. That's not a glitch. That is a crime. Now, if you or I want to go and get an SBA, loan to go and purchase a business or for your current business to grow, you're going to jump through a bunch of hoops and go through a bunch of red tape. Not to say that it can't be done, but you're not going to be able to have, a wrong social security number or something like that. You're not going to be able to do that. And shout out to Madeline Saunders. Is it Saunders or Sanders? Did I miss that? Madeline Sanders. She says, end the insanity. Start with Crockett, then move to AOC and keep going. Daniels must take Crockett's seat. Shout out to you, sister. Shout out to you, sister. Thank you. This isn't some daggone crime that's going on, man. I mean, I'm sorry. This isn't a glitch. This is a crime and it needs to be investigated. Pam Bondi just confirmed that the DOJ is going to be opening up an investigation into the fraud uncovered by Doge. And it needs to happen. And honestly, I wouldn't mind the FBI getting involved. I wouldn't mind the FBI getting involved in this search. Seriously, some heads need to roll. Some heads need to roll.
Is doing such a fantastic job. I thought maybe you could say a few words.
Thank you, President. As far as we are hearing a lot about fraud, waste, and abuse, a lot of waste and abuse, but there is a tremendous amount of fraud. And Elon, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your team. You have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. Thank you, Elon, for that. On the violent crime level, thanks to President Trump's directive, we are seeking the death penalty again. So all of these horrible, violent criminals that you're hearing about around the country, they will face the death penalty federally within our country. And the drug dealers need to get out of here because we are coming after you. We're going to have 94 great U.S. attorneys around this country, and everyone will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. And shout out to Bonnie Batten Johnson for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate you supporting the channel and appreciate you supporting Sholden Daniels. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, so this situation right here, I'll definitely say that, I'll believe it when I see it, but I love the rhetoric. But, when it comes to, Pam Bondi and, so far, she hasn't been doing, I guess a terrible job, but we're still waiting on the Epstein, we're still waiting on the Epstein list. So, she talks a tough game, but I want to see some action. And shout out to ZFRK9 for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. But I definitely like to see the FBI get involved. And this SBA scandal is just the tip of the iceberg. It is. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a tremendous amount of fraud that's happening in our government right now. The DOJ is setting up task force to go after these crooks, and they better follow through. We're talking about potentially thousands of people who exploited the system using stolen Social Security numbers to siphon off tax money, taxpayer dollars. Some of these loans, according to Doge, even went to people over 115 years old. And let's not forget the broader picture of government fraud during the pandemic. We already know. There was a report that came out in 2023, from the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. They found $5.4 billion, in C-19 aid that went to people with questionable Social Security numbers. That's a billion with a B. And the U.S. Labor Department's Inspector General said that fraudsters likely stole $45.6 billion from unemployment insurance programs. And again, using tactics like stolen identities of deceased people. This is our money, man. This is your money being funneled into the hands of criminals while hardworking Americans are left to foot the bill. And where's that money going? Where is it going? Well, it looks like, some of it is being funneled right back to Democrat organizations. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see groups like Act Blue and USAID, being tied to these shady funding schemes in the past. It just wouldn't surprise me at all. And that's why we need a full audit of every federal program, not just the SBA, but every single federal program out there. We need a full-fledged audit. I was in the gym today. I was in the gym this morning, and there were people, Democrats, of course, arguing that we don't need to do audits. We shouldn't be doing audits. I'm like, so y'all okay with them just taking the money and then raising our taxes? Y'all okay with that? These are the same people that voted for Governor Moore, but they're upset that Governor Moore is now decided that, hey, he's raising taxes. It's crazy. These are the same people that continue to support the people that do not mean them any good. And these people are arguing. They're upset that someone has decided to audit the government and we're finding all types of waste and fraud. And you got some of these people that are so delusional, they don't even believe it's happening. It's being reported on and they don't believe it's happening. It is insane. They're like, oh man, they're just talking about it. It ain't happening for real. That's not real. It's unbelievable. Seriously. There are a lot of people that are Democrats that they won't believe it. They'll believe anything that these Democrat politicians or legacy media tells them, but if it comes from President Trump, if it comes from Elon and the Doge group or anything along those lines, they don't believe it. They're like, oh no, that's not real. They're not really wasting money like that. Shout out to Bonnie Batten Johnson for the $19.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sister. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is insane, the cognitive dissonance of some of these people. And what's even more infuriating, is the double standard. And while the government's handing out millions to babies and ghosts, real small business owners are getting denied loans that they actually need to keep their businesses afloat. Real people who want to go and purchase a business are being denied. I mean, it is insane. It's crazy. So you have legitimate business owners who either need money because they want to expand and grow their business, or there is a business out there, it's profitable, it's turnkey. There is a senior citizen out there that wants to exit said business, and you got to go through so much red tape and hoops that they almost make it impossible for you to obtain these daggone loans. I mean, it is flat out crazy. But yet you can give a 9-month-old child a $100,000 loan. This is crazy. It is crazy. So I got to say this, man, the DOJ, they better deliver on these investigations. They better deliver. We need to see arrests, prosecutions, and every penny clawed back. And beyond that, we got to have some reform, real reform. And now I want to pivot real fast. I want to pivot to some other news that jumped out yesterday. Another juicy Smolier case. Another juicy Smolier case just dropped. A case that blew up in Allentown, PA. I don't know how many people we got up here in PA, but out in Allentown, Pennsylvania, you guys got to see it for yourself. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Lord, have mercy. I just don't understand it. I don't understand these people. I really don't. I don't understand them.
A local government employee is now facing charges after she claimed someone put a noose in her desk. Turns out she planted it. That's according to Allentown police, who say LaTarsha Brown told officers in January that she found the noose when she showed up to work. Police said Brown was the only employee not to consent to a swab for DNA testing. After an investigation, police obtained a warrant to get Brown's DNA, and police say test results on the noose were a match to Brown's. Today, she's now charged with making a false report to police and tampering or fabricating physical evidence.
No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation.
As of this afternoon, Brown is still employed by the city. Police did not reveal a motive.
Y'all see, that's hard. I would say it's hard to believe, but these people are crazy. This is a textbook example of how manufactured outrage can spiral out of control before the truth even comes out. Earlier this year, crowds gathered outside of Allentown City Hall in support of a city employee, LaTarsha Brown. They was out there protesting. I'm going to share a clip with you guys of this. She claimed that someone had placed a noose around her desk in what she described as a blatant act of racism. And people were outraged. So the community members, you got activists, city leaders, all these people, they went and stood outside Allentown City Hall chanting, demanding justice, and insisting a hate crime occurred. I mean, I'd say it's unreal, but this is something that is starting to happen more often. They're like, hey, if we actually can't get any of these things to happen, we'll just manufacture it. We'll make it up. These people are ridiculous. Goodness gracious.
Well, Sarah, after a disturbing discovery at an Allentown City Hall, people rallied for justice today. Residents, clergy, and mental health professionals took to the sidewalks in protest, demanding action and accountability after a city employee reported finding what police say resembled to be a noose on her desk last week.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Speakers presented a list of demands to city officials, including that the incident should be investigated as a federal hate crime. Councilwoman Cece Gerlach tells Action News that a member of Allentown's Department of Community and Economic Development made the disturbing discovery after the employee requested mediation for complaints about workplace discrimination. That hearing was set the day before this discovery. The Allentown police are investigating, calling the incident high priority. City Council condemned what happened, and Mayor Matt Turek called it horrible and unacceptable. Allentown City Council has their next meeting on Wednesday, and we're told this is not an agenda item, but it will likely be addressed at that meeting. The Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission urges anyone who feels they've experienced discrimination to file a complaint with them. Guys?
Yeah, disturbing discovery is right. Christy, thank you.
Oh my gosh, man. Hey, if you can't find any, we'll just make it up. We'll make it up, man. And the media picked it up immediately because they look for this. This is what they've been looking for. They picked it up and ran with this. No investigation, no nothing. They just picked it up and it's like, hey, they ran with it. The first time they even showed it that it happened. Turning into another example of deep racial tensions in America. When it's that, and in my opinion, that's the furthest thing from the truth. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Things are so good right now that they got to manufacture hate. Most of you guys aren't walking around, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Nobody's bothering you. My neighborhood where I live at, man, it's full of people from all walks of life. It's a pretty diverse neighborhood. And if any of you guys know anything about Maryland, for the most part, most of us, we all live around each other except for, I guess, well, I can't even say that because even in what would be quote unquote considered the hoods, I mean, it's just the hood people, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And it's a plethora, a fairly decent mixture of people. I just don't understand why there is a need to make this stuff up. And soon as the media got a whiff of this story, they just took off with it. And they didn't do any investigation. They didn't do any additional research and then come to find out that it wasn't true. It wasn't true. So let's walk through what actually happened. And according to police, Brown reported finding a rope on her desk resembling a noose in January of this year. The city then launched a full-blown investigation. Surveillance footage was reviewed. Every employee who had been in the building was interviewed. DNA testing was ordered. The FBI and Pennsylvania State Police got involved. And then something interesting happened. Out of all the employees asked to provide a DNA sample, only one refused, and the one person that refused was LaTarsha Brown herself. Now, even if you felt that way, seriously, even if you are one of those, racist people that know how to tie a noose, because I would assume most people don't know how to tie nothing with a rope, not these days. Would you really do it at work and risk your livelihood at a state building where they got cameras all out this place? They got cameras of folks coming and going. There's cameras in the lobbies. There's cameras everywhere in this place. And then when they start doing an investigation and they start taking the DNA from folks, the one person that refuses is LaTarsha Brown herself. Why would she refuse? She later even asked investigators to drop the case entirely. She told the people like, hey, man, don't worry about this. They've already invested tons of money. When you start talking about these investigations, you start pulling resources from multiple departments around the state to investigate something. And then you turn around and say, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. I don't care. Y'all can kick this investigation to the curb. I mean, it sounds pretty suspicious to me. But they didn't drop it. And to be honest with you, they shouldn't drop it. If there is something like this that happens at work, in any workplace, more or less some form of, state building, we got to figure out what's going on. And we got to nip that in the bud immediately. They sent the noose to the crime lab and eventually obtained a warrant for Brown's DNA. This lady wouldn't give them her DNA, so they had to get a warrant for her DNA. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when they take those swabs, those things cost money. Every time you take those swabs, those DNA tests, those things they cost. Those aren't free. And the results came back. The results came back. both the outside and inside of the knot had only one DNA profile. One. Outside and inside. One DNA profile. And it was her daggone DNA. They need to fire her behind immediately. She definitely needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And whatever it costs for them to do this investigation, they need to fine her behind that amount, and she needs to pay for it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Simple as that. This lady should be ashamed of herself, man. You had people out there protesting and everything about this. She should be ashamed.
The purpose of this press conference is to provide an update regarding the noose investigation. I want to take a moment to thank the following agencies who assisted in this case: the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews with persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor of the 2nd degree, and false reports to law enforcement, a misdemeanor of the 3rd degree. As in every criminal case, the fact that a warrant has been issued or a complaint has been filed is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. I'm now going to ask Captain Milkovich to provide a summation of this investigation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovich, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee LaTarsha Brown arrived at her office on the 3rd floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the 3rd floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca. Thank you.
She should be ashamed of herself, man. And her people should be embarrassed. If she was somebody, if she was like one of my family members, cousin, my wife wouldn't dare do something like that. I wouldn't let her do something like that. But cousins, aunts, whoever, I would be embarrassed. Like, man, don't come around here no more. Don't come around here. Seriously. Anybody that's willing to do something along those lines, I would assume that maybe she was thinking like, hey, we can do this and I could sue the state for some money. Anybody that's willing to do something that low down, there is no telling what type of shenanigans they will pull. No telling. I don't want to be around people like that, family, friend, or not. No. So this lady, she's now, well, we'll say woman, because a lady wouldn't do something along those lines. A lady wouldn't do something along these lines. They just wouldn't. So she's now charged with fabricating evidence and filing a false police report. Both are misdemeanors. And yet, despite the fact that all signs point to this being staged, the damage has been done. People marched, community members cried on camera. The narrative was pushed hard. And as always, with these cases, the correction never gets as much attention as the accusations. Never. The press jumped all on this. Protesters shouted that racism was alive and well in City Hall. I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy. Friends of Brown praised her as being, a brave woman, standing up against injustice, and she was strong, and, all of this foolishness. But now we know that none of it was real. None of it was real. This was all fabricated. Juicy Smollett 2.0. This was fabricated. And here's the problem. When hoaxes like this, rear its ugly head, it dilutes real issues. It does. It makes people question the next time something like this comes up, is this real or is this another Juicy Smollett? I mean, when people do stuff like this, they hijack public trust and resources. And in this case, DNA testing was fast-tracked. Think about that, man. DNA testing was fast-tracked. Somebody in the chat, are y'all in the healthcare field? Anybody? I know there was one person that said they were a healthcare recruiter. That is expensive. So that right there lets you know that the city, the state takes these types of cases seriously. There's no tolerance for it. And I can appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they say, yeah, there is no tolerance for this type of behavior in any workforce, any workplace, any workplace. And Madeline, you're right. It sounds a whole lot like the Tawana Brawley situation from back in the 80s. Oh, yeah, that's the case that put Al Sharpton, you know what I'm saying, in the public sphere, put him in the mainstream. These people, they went out there and fast-tracked DNA testing. Fast-tracked it. Crime lab. Now think about this, man. They fast-tracked this to get to the bottom of this hoax. Crime labs diverted attention from great case kits and real criminal cases to rush this rope analysis, all because of a lie. All because of a lie. And let's be honest, if one of the white employees, had touched that rope, if one of the white employees, and honestly, if anybody would have touched that rope, it possibly could have destroyed their career. If anybody would have touched that rope, it probably could have destroyed their career. Because based on what we know about this lady today, she would have said, yeah, my DNA was on it because I picked it up, but it's got to be them. One wrong fingerprint, one bad coincidence, and someone innocent could have been branded. Someone could have been branded, could have lost their livelihood, could have lost a good name. That's the danger of these types of stories, man. And yet, even with all of this evidence, Brown is only facing misdemeanors. Misdemeanors. When you start talking about the amount of money that was spent on the investigation, you would assume that would at least be, a lower level felony. At least when you think about the amount of money that was spent to investigate. Fast tracking DNA test probably ran this the city or the state upward, and they said they tested 100 people. So we're talking, we'll say, just being modest, each test run you, we'll say maybe $200 a piece. They had to test 100 people. Yeah, they tested 100 people, so that's $2,000 right there. If you stole something that cost $2,000, that would be considered a felony. It should be a felony. After wasting taxpayer resources, time, and then smearing her own workplace. Yeah, so $200 to $300 a piece. I was just guessing. I was just guessing $200 to $300. Yeah, so $200 to $300 at testing 100 people. Yeah, so you're right, Billboards. A hate crime would be a felony. So falsifying a hate crime, that should be a felony as well. I mean, think about the resources that was spent on this fake investigation. And let's not forget the broader impact. People still believe that this happened. They'll never see the correction. They'll take the original story as proof that racism is alive and well and it's everywhere. That the system is broken. That no one is safe. And it's all built on a lie. All built on a lie. And look, man, everyone deserves to be presumed innocent until, proven guilty via the court of law. But based on what we've seen, this looks like another smear case, another case in a growing list of hate crime hoaxes, manufactured victimhood, all for attention, clout, maybe grievous points, maybe some money. Because, had she been able to get away with this, what was coming next. You was going to see Ben Crump or some other, social justice, warrior, activist, lawyer out there trying to sue the daggone state for some money. What was coming next. And what's even more frustrating is that these hoaxes like this are treated seriously from day one, while countless real victims are ignored or delayed due to backlogs and lack of resources. And when someone fakes it, they're stealing from those who actually need justice. And the bottom line is this. This story is insane, not because the system failed, but because it worked and it was abused. And if this doesn't result in real consequences, we'll continue to see more of these types of hoaxes in the future. This is the kind of stuff that hurts communities. It inflames tension. I mean, it makes neighbors distrust each other. Shout out to Red Bucks for the $4.99 super sticker. Thank you very much. Seriously. These are the types of cases that, you'll have your neighbors looking at you sideways. And it makes legitimate victims less likely to be believed. We can't keep letting people weaponize race for personal gain. We can't. And the people who stage these hoaxes, they need to be held accountable. They need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law every single time. Thank you. Thank you all for supporting the channel. I'm going to play this clip from the interview with Sholden Daniels. I got a couple of other clips, but they're kind of broken up. So I'm going to play those, throughout the, they'll be released, separately. But this is kind of the initial conversation. So I want to play this clip right here for you guys from our interview yesterday. Like I said, anybody that supports the channel financially today, if you purchase a super chat or a super thanks, anybody that does that, I will be matching the proceeds to that 100%. I will match it dollar for dollar, whatever is donated today, and that will be given to Sholden Daniels. And we will make that happen today. today. But let me play this clip for you guys. A guy who served his country, built a career fighting for justice, and who's now ready to bring some professionalism, fight, and common sense back to Texas District 30. But enough for me. Let's hear from the man himself. All right, enough about me. Perfect. All right, what's going on, Sholdon? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you pulling up today. I know you're in the middle of your work day, but I definitely appreciate you carving out some time for us, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. A righteous perspective is awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. So I want to jump right into this, man. First off, before we get started, I want to say congratulations. You, the wife, the new addition to the family. Congratulations on that. You guys got your hands full right now. Running for office and a newborn. How are you doing this?
God, my wife is amazing. She's super supportive. She is the best, you know, the best teammate and friend and wife that I can have. And I got a lot of support too in the community. So it's one day at a time, one play at a time, but we're winning.
I hear that. I hear that, man. My kids are grown. I have a 23-year-old and a 18-year-old, you know, so I'm not an empty nester. My youngest son, he's still in college, but my oldest is currently in the military, U.S. Navy. And your background, extremely impressive, man. Extremely impressive. You know, U.S. Army veteran. I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm a Navy veteran myself.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I'm not going to hold it against you, though. But, I mean, attorney, family man. And I want to start things off by just asking, you know, real fast, you know, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, why you decided to run for Congress?
I was just raised to be, you know, a service to those around me, be of the community and to care about people. And, you know, in my line of work, I'm an attorney. In my line of work, I have an opportunity, and it's a blessing. I get to work with a lot of different types of people and help people bring real solutions and help them in their most troubling. This is just the right step in the right direction at the right time for me. You know, with the representative like the one that we have currently, it's just an embarrassment. And I feel like it goes to show how far off the rails, you know, our community is really starting to go, how easily people are misled. And so, you know, I was blessed with the ability to get up there and do the job. And so I feel the responsibility to throw my name in the hat. It's really just that simple.
Understood. Now, I think everybody knows, and if they don't know, you're challenging Jasmine Crockett, who, to put it nicely, will say that she's definitely been a lightning rod in Congress, you know, for the viral meltdowns, over the top antics, outlandish rhetoric. I got to ask you, you know, had you been considering, you know, running for this the entire time, or was it after, you know, seeing her behavior and the way she's kind of handled things in office? Is that what really, you know, I guess spurred you to take this type of action?
Absolutely. Seeing how, you know, she does a terrible job on all fronts, right? If you like her outspokenness and how she allegedly speaks truth to power, I think she still fails at that even because, you know, she's just yelling the same tired old tropes and she's offering no solutions. She's doing nothing to build bridges in D.C. to be able to deliver on any of these supposed results that she's fighting so hard for. But, you know, today or it may have been yesterday, I just tweeted it on my page, but she admitted that, you know, she's wholly ineffective as a legislator and that she should probably do a better job being a politician and less of an activist. And, you know, for those exact reasons is why I was like, you know what, I can get up there and I can speak truth to power as well. But I know I can be effective as a legislator. And I know with me being a young Black Republican, right, and with the Republican Party clearly going to be in power for the foreseeable future, I think it'd be best for the people at TX30 to have someone within the party in power who can actually deliver real tangibles for the district instead of just having somebody up there that's basically just complaining and being paid $174,000 a year to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess in your opinion, you know, what do you see as the biggest problem that she's causing, you know, to her constituents as well as the district in itself?
Pure lack of representation. I mean, we have a Congress for a reason. We have a U.S. House of Representatives for a reason. And we have major employers. We have some of the biggest blue chip companies you can think of. Southwest Airlines is headquartered in our district. The stock exchange, the Texas Stock Exchange, is going to be headquartered right here in our district. So many other amazing companies and huge employers. You got so many small businesses and just hardworking families and entrepreneurs that really just want, you know, a taste of the American dream. Your person on Capitol Hill is supposed to be not only legislating, either passing laws, passing good law or reforming bad law, but they should be using that influence part of their position to be directly benefiting the people in the district. And she doesn't do that. She uses all of her connections to get herself onto red carpet events, to get more red bottom shoes from these designers, right? And that's all she really uses it for, to get selfies with celebrities. I would be the type of congressman, more like a nuts and bolts fixer type guy. I'd be on Capitol Hill, obviously holding people accountable in committee, but passing legislation, pulling bad legislation, and then in my meantime, I'd be using that influence to directly benefit people in my district.
Understood. And what do you see as the, one of the top one or two, most pressing issues facing your district right now? And how do you plan to address those?
The school systems are failing in Dallas and really all over the country. I'm starting to find out people are reaching out, but I would definitely push hard on the school choice movement and that wave. And it's really a matter of just educating people. A lot of people, and especially young parents, are so hooked on this Department of Education and just the current status quo on how our public education system works, that the real challenge is not getting them to buy into it. It's just getting them to understand what it means. Once they understand what it means, they want to buy into it. And so school choice is a major policy thing that I'm pushing here, but also just pro small business policy. So rolling back, for example, the Corporate Transparency Act that was recently passed that makes everybody have to fill out this form every year just to say who owns the company. And if you don't do it by a certain deadline, you get taxed or you get penalized, right? And so these are the little things that add up for small business owners in all different industries that I want to get rid of. I want to pull all that stuff back and just pave a way for the small business owners and the entrepreneurs in TX30 and really America to just be able to take off and realize that American dream. Also, I want to work with banks and lenders to get them to tweak their criteria for giving small business loans for first-time requesters, for younger people, young entrepreneurs that want to start up a business. I know when I was 18, I could have got a loan for $500,000 to go get an underwater basket weaving degree, but I couldn't have got a $50,000 loan to start a business that would have been tremendously successful. I think that that's wrong. I think that's one of the things in our society that needs to be tweaked that can immediately and tremendously affect the people in TX30 and all over the country.
I would agree with that, 1000%. One of the other things too, not just starting businesses, but we have a lot of older people that are retiring currently and looking to exit their businesses. So helping to get, some of these young people to, obtain loans to be able to jump into some of these businesses that are already turnkey. They're already profiting. They've probably been in business 15, 20, 30 years. I don't think a lot of people even know that these things exist or these opportunities exist. Everybody talks about startup, but they rarely talk about the existing businesses and the amount of people that we have that are, in that senior citizen that want to exit those businesses and they don't really know how to exit those businesses.
I would agree. We live during a time where people, especially investors and people looking to buy companies, and people are just coming out way more sophisticated when it comes to money and investing. I don't know, maybe it's just the culture of the retail trading and the crypto and just, the current state of affairs where people have to hustle and grind just to stay ahead. And so, that forces people to kind of step up their level of financial acumen. And I think you're absolutely right. I think the problem is that our laws are still set up based on the world where you had this small class of elite people who really knew how money works and how business works, and everybody else was just labor force. And I think we need to retool the way our system works so that people just coming out who want to buy a business or start a business, it's very easy for them to get capital. It's very easy for that company to exchange hands and make it really easy for people to realize the American dream.
I would agree with that. I love that. I love it. And I mean, small business has been the backbone of this nation, and it seems like we've gotten away from that. So it's good to hear, someone like yourself that want to push that type of agenda and try to help move us back into that area. I think that's extremely important. I'm a small business owner myself, and that's something that when I do speak to young people, I'm trying to give them, some insight and some wisdom. And then at the same time, use your phone for more than just watching TikTok videos and YouTube shorts. Information is as free as it's ever been in the history of mankind. YouTube University, so forth and so on. There's so many ways to get out there and gain information for little to nothing.
Right, absolutely. Another thing, policy-wise, in my district, it's 40% African-American, but it's about 45 when you add it up, Spanish-speaking people. And then you have, mixed people and Anglo origin people. But here's the deal. A lot of people in my area, especially in Texas, they want to focus on like the anti-illegal immigration stuff. And that's all fine and dandy. Like, I'm definitely opposed to having an open border and I'm opposed to illegal immigration. But I think that the legal immigrants, especially the ones who come here and start businesses and create jobs for Americans, I feel like they don't really get enough love from people on Capitol Hill, and I kind of want to reward the people who come here legally, start a business, create jobs, create no problems, right? I feel like they should be able to tap somebody from their hometown and say, hey, I nominate this person to come here and do the same thing. And when they do, that person that they nominate should have a much more expedited process to gaining their citizenship here in America, if under the condition they're going to come here and create a business and just continue the process. This is how I feel like we can still keep, the spirit of being a nation of immigrants and a melting pot. But instead of attracting the people who want to come here and get a free phone, free, money on a card, hotel, we're attracting the people who want to come here and really chase the American dream. And not only that, the most important, we're attracting people here that love America first.
I can actually get behind that idea. I can actually get behind that. My last question, then I want to share some clips and I want to get your take, on a couple of clips that I have that, myself and the team have put together. What sets you apart, your opponent, Representative Jasmine Crockett, in this race and how, I guess moving forward, once you find yourself in Congress?
I'm really a man of the people. I try to shy away from the limelight. I definitely like working around people who have motion in their career. And, in 2025, a lot of times that means they're going to have some type of attention, whether it's social media or the media. But I never want to be that guy. I'm more about just getting the work done. If there was something that I wanted to be known for when it was all said and done, it absolutely wouldn't be how much money I made or the stuff that I had. It would be the work that I did and the people that I helped and the change that I helped usher in. I see America, big picture wise, we started out great. We had a tumultuous time in our period, but now we have an opportunity to kind of go back, look at some of the old institutions that we've had, how we've done things, and we can retool things and make ourselves even stronger for this next phase of our existence. And I want to be a part of that team that sees, that vision and helps bring that into fruition. I don't want to relitigate 400-year-old cases. I'm not here to remind everybody what happened 165 years ago. We all know what happened. Everybody, has their opinions, but I'm just of the opinion that we need to set aside our differences and start focusing more on what we have in common, lock arms as Americans, and then trudge forward like that.
I would agree with that. I mean, you serve in the military. I served in the military.
Right.
I grew up in the Atlanta area. If you know anything about the Atlanta area, it's, 70% Black, 70% African American. The thing that I learned, in the military is that we're more alike than we are different. I met people from almost every state, and I've had the chance to travel and things of that nature. And I've learned a couple of things. One, that there is no place like the United States of America. There's no place like it. And two, the people that I've met from, maybe Kentucky or some of these other places where there's not as many, Black folks up in there, that we're a lot of the times dealing with some of the same issues, and we have a lot of the same struggles, and we're more alike than we are different. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Real women, right? And we're tired of, the lines trying to be blurred and these people trying to attack our way of life. And so I'm stepping out here first and foremost as a father. I've had an opportunity to have an amazing childhood. I was born and raised in the 80s and 90s. I want that same thing for my kids and for their kids. But if we allow these liberals to keep pushing these so-called progressive policies, I can't even imagine the world that my kids, my grandkids would grow up in. It would be so warped and thwarted from what I know. And so I think that's really the simplest way to put it. It's a war of ideas. And obviously, most people agree that we have the better ideas right now, but now we have to go do the cleanup. Jasmine Crockett is one of the most vocal people for this progressive agenda, this globalist agenda. She needs to be, taken off Capitol Hill. She belongs on a YouTube page or in a beauty salon where she can spew all that stuff all day. She doesn't belong on Capitol Hill.
I'm muted. All right, that's the first clip of that interview. I'll have some of the other clips that will come out today and maybe tomorrow. I'll do that. But in the chat, man, let me know what are your thoughts on Sholdon. I don't know if I asked enough questions, but I'd like to hear from you guys. One, how do you guys think I did on the interview? But two, is there any questions that you feel like I should have asked that was missed? I'd definitely like to hear from you guys as well, on that. But, man, I when you look at the options and you look at, Sholden Daniels in comparison to Jasmine Crockett, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. In my opinion, it is a no-brainer. Seriously. The other thing too is when he was speaking on the immigrant businesses and having people, people that are immigrants that want to come in here and feed into the system, I don't necessarily have an issue with that due to the fact that his district is a district that has people of all walks of life. So, I understand that. And when you're a representative, your job is to represent the people that are within your district. That's just my opinion. That is your job to do. And somebody had mentioned something, about business. And I can't remember, I think was it Dr. Silla that said, immigrants hire their own, typically, white-owned businesses, they tend to hire, more white folks, although you don't necessarily see that. You'll see white people hire a little bit of everybody, but, and you'll see, black people, for the most part, they will do the same. And I do think there should be a focus on small business. Small business has been the backbone in this nation for quite some time. And, I think that a real focus needs to be on obtaining the capital needed to start businesses, or not really start businesses, to go out and purchase these businesses that already exist. They're already been around. They're already profiting. They already have a name. They already have business credit. They already have these things. You're going in and purchasing those. And with the SBA loan, you're supposed to be able to use the 7A SBA loan to go and purchase businesses. Obviously, there's due diligence and things of that nature that needs to be done. But, it can be done. And for a long time, man, small business has been the backbone of this nation. So I didn't necessarily have a real issue, with that. But I also understand that he's not running for Senate. He's not running for, president. He's running for representative of Texas District 30. And I think he has an obligation to support his district and all the people that live in his district. Right now, I wanted to announce it real fast that we have raised $308, and we'll go ahead and round that up to $309. I'd really like to see that number get to 500, man, so we can give Sholdon $1,000 today. But I like this, man. I'll answer your question, bro. I'll answer your brother. He said, why everybody for immigrants? Black people are next in line. What's wrong with you? I'll say this. I mean, we've been here, and I'll say this. No one is stopping anybody from doing anything. And I don't think that, he mentioned anything in reference to illegal immigrants. The current representative, and honestly, the current Democrat Party is fully so focused on illegal immigrants, fast tracking them to citizenship and fast tracking them to opportunities. Those that come over here and do things the right way, I don't necessarily have an issue with that either. Those people are in need and those people are in demand, but we also got to understand that we are in full-fledged competition across the board with everybody, not just people here in the States, but also all around the world. So when you say we're next in line, I mean, you've been here, and who is stopping you from obtaining anything that you want to obtain? Who's stopping you and keeping you from, any opportunities that are out there? I'd like to see you answer that question. Who's put a roadblock up to keep you from doing anything? No one stopped me from doing anything that I've wanted to do. No one. This is hands down the best nation in the world. The opportunities are plentiful in this country. My parents owned a trucking company. They owned a trucking company. And matter of fact, my cousin right now still owns one, him and his wife, with multiple rigs. The sky's the limit. If you want it, get out there and go work for it. That's the problem with a lot of you folks. You guys are looking for handouts. Oh, he says, who's stopping? Ain't nobody stopping you, bruh. And the only person that is stopping you is you. Nobody is stopping you. The only person that would hinder you from doing anything or achieving anything is you. Because I know a plethora of people. I know a plethora of people that are doing extremely well. Now, again, nothing is given. And to be honest with you, you get what you earn. See, a lot of y'all still out here waiting on somebody to hand y'all something. There ain't nobody handing you nothing. But you can go get it. I know exactly how my parents started that trucking company. I know exactly how they did it. And it wasn't through some handout. Please do it. I'm okay with that. You have my permission to do so. But see, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's folks like you, y'all talk a lot, but y'all don't have any solutions. And if your only solution is a handout, man, you're gonna be waiting on that for a while. Because that ain't coming. Yeah, it is. You looking for a handout. Because I've heard you, I haven't heard you, but you in the chat talking trash, but I haven't seen not one solution yet. I see a lot of complaining. I see a lot of whining, but I ain't seen a solution. You a victim out here in these streets, bruh. Victim. And you in the chat acting and sounding like a victim. You definitely don't sound like a strong man standing on his square. You don't sound like that. You don't sound like a strong man standing on his square. I'm okay with you doing the reaction. And if you shoot me a message so I can watch it, I'd watch it. I might actually respond to it. I'm okay with that. But I'm really tired, a lot of folks, out here with this victimhood mindset. I really am. This victimhood mindset. Shout out to Joseph Orsini for the $49.99 super chat. He said he's proud to support Mr. Daniels. Next time you talk to him, ask him if he has any relatives in Connecticut. They can run. We need it. Whew. Yeah, y'all. Hey, the Northeast is something else, man. The Northeast is something else. I don't know if the Northeast can be overtaken, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't know if the Northeast can be overtaken. I really don't. But everybody in this nation, you have to be willing to put the work in. You have to be. One of my guys that comes on the channel, my guy Marcelo, they got to work. They got to grind. A lot of my good friends, they've had to work their tails off to achieve what they've achieved. And the fact that you got people on here that's not solution based, but you got your hand out, but you offering nothing. Offering nothing, but got your hand out. It's ridiculous, man. I completely reject that ideology and rhetoric. What work have you put in, bro? What work have you put in? What have you done? Because there's a plethora of people, you know what I'm saying, that are doing extremely well for themselves. A plethora of people. But yeah, I know, I understand that. There's really no getting through, to people like that. There's no getting through to people like that because they are perpetual victims. Weak, perpetual victims. But I appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. I definitely do. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the support. And before we go, I want to make sure that I have, had the numbers, out there. So we have raised $358.89 today. Shout out to you all. Shout out to you all. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. We got, another $5. Shout out. Shout out the voices for the voiceless. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. But these be the same people, before we get out of here, these be the same people that say we need representation and then, shout down, a brother when they get out there. I mean, it's that crab in the barrel mentality is very real. And there you got a chance to see it live on display. You got a chance to see it live in action. That crab in the bucket, man, mentality is just, it's unreal. It really is. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's never solution-based, though. Never solution-based. But I appreciate you guys, man. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all tomorrow, Lord willing, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Peace.
Vibe so